In May 1926, 3 expeditions were racing to fly to the North Pole. At Kings Bay, Spitsbergen, the veteran Norwegian polar explorer Roald Amundsen was preparing an airship. Also at Kings Bay was the American Richard Byrd, who was preparing his Fokker tri-motor plane. At Barrow, Alaska, the Australian George Hubert Wilkins was also preparing his aeroplane. Early one morning, Byrd flew north and came back 15.5 hours later and said he reached the North Pole. For 80 years, people have argued whether he did or not. Wings of Ice is the first book that actually provides a definitive answer as to what happened on that North Pole flight. 2 years later, in 1928, Byrd announced he would fly to the South Pole. While Roald Amundsen was involved in the bitter dispute that would cost him his life, George Wilkins was hired to beat Byrd to the South Pole. Late in 1928, Byrd and Wilkins unloaded their planes on opposite sides of Antarctica and prepared for the last great race in polar history. These events took place over 80 years ago, but no one has ever yet written a book about the polar air race. And the reason for this is simple. A race needs a minimum of 2 competitors. When one of them disappears from the history books, so does the idea of the competition between them. And this happened with Wilkins. It would be hard to find a 20th century figure in any field of endeavour who did so much yet is so little remembered. In Wings of Ice, we not only tell the story of Wilkins and reinstate him to his place in history, but we also follow the events after his death that actually led to the destruction of most of his material and his records.